Connecticut elections is in a few days. Well, elections is in a few days. No matter if you're from Connecticut, from California, you're from New York, from Jersey, wherever you're from, I want people to focus this year on local elections. A lot of times we get caught up in presidential elections when, yes, sometimes change could be made, but not as dramatic as local elections. You'd see, just as bad as we want change in our communities, just as bad as we want the crime rate to go down, just as bad we want drugs off our streets and violence and guns, just as bad as we want that, it's just as bad as those politicians want to be in that seat. It's just as bad as those politicians want to elevate their status. It's just as bad as they want those powers to be. So what needs to happen is that the voice of the people, and no matter what race you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter what color, the voice of the people have to collectively come together and make a decision based off the leadership of that person. Now, right here in Connecticut, we have Rob running, we have Bob running, and we have Ned running, right? What I need you to do is I need you to click on these links. Each and every person that I just named, I'm going to add the link to this right here, this video, so you can read for the next couple days on these guys who are running to improve, to say they are going to improve leadership in our communities, right? Now, what happens is, if we ignore this video, if we ignore this election, if we ignore it like we've been doing, then it's going to continue to happen. The crime that we see is going to continue to happen. The gun violence, our youth, everything that we see is going to continue to happen until we hold them accountable. And the way that we can do that is that we can use our voice and our marketing power and our dollar to say, no, we are not giving you that seat. We are not voting for you. We're actually going to vote for this person or this person or that person. That's how we make change. And what happens is, if those promises do not follow up, then it's going to be a time period where next election we are going to have to take actionable items, and that means remove that person from that seat with our voice, with our power, and find someone that is really interested in moving our communities forward. And that's the only way we're going to make change. Now, when it comes to Latinos, when it comes to blacks, when it comes to African Americans, when it comes to us, we are suffering the worst. We are suffering the worst because these politicians are passing these laws that do not benefit our communities. Now, some people may say, well, Devon, what do you know about politics? Well, I don't know too much about politics, but what I do know is I know a lot about people. And I know that we are suffering. I know suicide rates are high. I know violence rates are high. I know youth rates are high. And I know when I look outside of my community where I live in Connecticut, whether it's New Britain, whether it's Hartford, whether it's Waterbury, whether it's Bridgeport, whether it's Middletown, no matter where it is, I see these kids suffering with lack of opportunities, with lack of job opportunities, lack of training. I see adults who can't read. I see people who can't figure out what direction to go. But day in and day out, we get these politicians to come around once in a year, once in a time, to say, hey, I can help this, or I can do. We're done with I can do. We need actionable items. And in order to do that, we need to hold them accountable by using our voice collectively as a people to see if we can move our communities forward. It doesn't matter if the person you're going to vote for is black or white or old or big or young or tall. That doesn't matter. What matters is, can you follow through with the change that you are promising the people that are suffering? And if they can't follow through, next election, you vote them out and you put someone in that seat until they understand that we mean business. That's the only way we're going to move forward. Now, with the business community, with the music and the hip hop culture community in Connecticut, with the entrepreneurs, with leaders, with activists, with all of us collectively, if we can use our intellect and our mind and say we are not going for this anymore, then they're going to stand up and say that they're going to do something about it. And if not, you move them out that seat and you go to the next one. It's almost like a job interview. If that job interview goes well and that person sells you that they're the best person for that job and they get into your business and they don't do the job they're supposed to do, you fire them, right? And then you do another interview until you find that right person. That's what needs to happen right here in Connecticut, in New York, in Jersey, in California, in Chicago, and everywhere around this country. We have to hold them accountable, and our voices is the most powerful thing to do that. But we need to do it collectively. In a couple days, re-election is coming up, and I encourage you, wherever you at in your community, in your state, in your country, to look into the details. And if they're not following up as leaders on what they say, remove them with your voice, with your people, and decide to put someone in that seat that's going to bring you the change that you see.